Why some managers become CXOs and others stay managers forever? A very common question which I receive is this: how do I start thinking like a CXO when I am a manager now? Good evening, everyone. Let me ask you something. What if the biggest reason you are not getting promoted isn't your skills, experience, or hard work, but because you are still thinking like a manager when the organization needs future CXOs? Think about these questions. Because every year, thousands of highly competent managers wonder, why was someone else chosen for the bigger role? Why do leaders keep talking about strategic thinking? What exactly are CXOs seeing that I am not? And here's the uncomfortable truth: most professionals don't get stuck because of only a capability problem. They get stuck because of perspective problem. And today we are going to talk about how you can start developing a CXO mindset long before you become a CXO. And before we dive in, let me share that today is day 59 of the 365 live sessions journey on career growth strategies. For 59 consecutive days, we have been having honest conversations about the realities of career growth, leadership, and becoming future ready professionals. And today's topic could completely change the way you approach your career. Let's begin with a simple truth. Managers manage what? Managers manage tasks or activities, and CXOs manage what? CXOs manage outcomes. Managers ask what needs to get done, but CXOs will ask, why does this matter? What is the business impact? What happens next? What risks are we missing? That's the first shift. So, fact number one: CXOs think in business outcomes. Research from leading leadership studies, executive leadership studies, consistently shows that senior leaders are evaluated on these: revenue growth, customer outcomes, risk management, profitability, and long term sustainability, not on the number of meetings they attend or emails they send. So, let me share with you a couple of examples and strategies. Example number one: a manager says, we completed the project on time. A CXO asks, did the project improve customer satisfaction, increase efficiency, or create business difference? So, what strategies can you adopt for a CXO mindset when you are still a manager or a senior manager? So, strategy number one: start understanding the business model. Many managers understand their department well, their functions well, but CXOs understand the entire business. So ask yourself, how does the company make money? What are the biggest risks? What drives customer loyalty? What keeps the CEO awake at night? The answers to these questions change your thinking dramatically. And here's strategy number two: learn to think in trade offs. CXOs constantly make difficult decisions. Every decision involves cost versus growth, speed versus quality, short term versus long term, risk versus opportunity. And managers often look for the right answer. But CXOs, they often look for the best compromises. And here's example number two. Suppose your team wants a new software tool. A manager will ask, can we afford it? A CXO will ask, If we don't invest now, what will it cost us over the next 1 year or 2 years, 2 years or 3 years? So very different thinking and but the same problem. So here are the strategies I would like to share. Strategy number one for this particular example is build an enterprise mindset. Managers optimize their own teams, but CXOs optimize the entire organization. Before making recommendations, ask, how does this impact other teams? How does this impact customers? How does this impact financial results? How does it impact the future growth? The wider your perspective, the more leadership ready you become. And here's strategy number two for this particular example. Spend more time asking exceptional questions. The best leaders don't have answers always, but they ask exceptional questions. Let me repeat. The best leaders don't always have all the answers, but they have great questions. They ask thought provoking questions. Questions like, what problem are we really solving? What is changing in the market? What opportunities are we not seeing? If we do nothing, what happens? Questions elevate thinking, and elevated thinking creates leadership presence, executive presence. So, here's a practical exercise for you. Starting tomorrow, in every meeting, prepare one business insight, one strategic question, one recommendation. This simple habit can completely change how people perceive your leadership capability. So, stop asking, how do I do my job better? And start asking, how do I help the business perform better? That is the beginning of CXO thinking. And here's a reality check for you. Most promotions into senior leadership don't happen because someone worked harder. They happen because someone demonstrated these: business understanding, strategic judgment, enterprise thinking, and decision making capability. In other words, leadership starts in your mindset before it shows up in your title. If this conversation resonated with you, comment think like a CXO below. Because many professionals are only one mindset shift away from their next big opportunity. And if you are serious about accelerating your leadership growth, executive presence, strategic thinking, and promotion readiness, join my deeper learning sessions. The link is in the featured section of my bio. In Instagram, in LinkedIn, as well as in YouTube. Let me leave you with one final thought now. The question isn't, when will I become a CXO? But a better question is, am I already thinking like one? Because titles come later, mindset comes first. And often organizations promote people based on the thinking quality or the quality of thinking they have already demonstrated. Thank you so much for joining me today, and please join me again tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. IST for episode 60 of our 365 live sessions journey. Block just 10 minutes of your time for your own career growth every day. One insight, one mindset shift, and one breakthrough at a time. Until then, don't wait for a bigger title to think bigger. Start thinking like a CXO today.